Hi, Thumos, and welcome back. Hope you're having an amazing Tuesday. You are like in an incredible position that you're just alive. And this is so insane to think that you are this vessel, this bag of bones, right? You got blood in you, you got all these organs, all these cells. But you're more than that. You really are. You're more than that. And some great men of history, some sages of history believe that every single man had within them a guardian angel. Now you can picture this like if you've ever seen Death Note, the anime, there's a character, and there's this like spirit thing that follows him. I think it's called Shimagashi or something like that. And it's a spirit thing that no one else can see, only him. Kind of follows him, talking in his ear, giving him advice. Also kind of annoying. That's a good way to understand what I'm talking about here, but every man has this guardian angel, this guardian spirit, this thing that is his and his alone. And it's guiding him. It's supposed to be there guiding him, giving him power and will and energy and helping him on his path. He's not alone. He's not just stumbling down the road alone. He's not just going about this whole life thing alone. There's something there. There's a gift from the heavens. The universe has bestowed upon him this force. And he himself ends up becoming a force as he gets closer with this being, with this spirit. And so I believe that it's up to all of us to nurture this relationship with this spirit that we have. And I like to think of this as each of us is sort of like an instrument of the divine. We are an instrument of the Most High. You think about this, man, because this is powerful. This is a powerful story to keep you going, to really keep you going. Because if you're an instrument of the Most High, of the universe, and you are a mouthpiece, a voice, that every bit of energy you have, every day given to you, that is a potential for God to use you to do good into the world, to shape the world, and to do His will. To pick you up and to play you like a fiddle. To pick you. But what happens when you leave a guitar? I got an old guitar that I haven't played for a while. I picked it up like every guy that wants to pick up a guitar in his teens and get good, and play so the girls will love him. You're just like that guitar, man. But unless I tune that guitar right now, it's going to sound like absolute trash. It's not going to be a beautiful melody. Unless I take care of it, it's going to get dust on it. It's going to get rusty. The strings are going to break. The same thing. If you're an instrument of the divine, you got to take care of that instrument, because you have to develop a relationship to understand that, I'm an instrument. I'm meant to be played. You're meant to be played, dude. You're meant to be out here in the world shaking things up, being a mouthpiece, being a freaking weapon, being an instrument, giving off joyful vibes and pleasant positivity and changing the people that get to hear you. That's what you're for. That's what you're here for. And you being an instrument will be played if you take care of that instrument and if you put yourself in the hands of the master musician. If you put your hands, you give your life to God. Seriously, if you give your life, I'm not talking any certain, the Quran, Muslim, Christianity, Buddha. I'm not saying there is some divine force. And I know that you know this. Deep in your heart, you may know. And if you don't, well then it's just covered up by a bunch of bullshit. By a bunch of unnecessary baggage that the world probably throws on you. But you alone as a man have immense power, dude. And you're meant to be an instrument and a weapon for good. And that's funny, a weapon for good, right? But seriously, it's a good weapon. And so it starts, I believe, this being, this will, because once you understand it, man, you just snap back to reality. You snap back to a life of purpose. And so it starts with having a vision. It's really, as a young man, I find it very difficult. It was difficult to come up with a vision because what often happened is I would get inundated by so much stuff. And when I look back now, I look back at with indifference. You know, like when something, maybe for instance, like here's a good example: a girl that you're dating, and when I was 21, I'm heartbroken at first. I feel sad. A couple years later, you look back and you just laugh. You're indifferent. There's zero emotional baggage attached to it. And I think the really struggle for men these days is when you're growing up, there's so much that is given that grabs at your attention. Lust takes your attention. You desire a woman so badly. You desire wealth, riches, without the work or the wit and charm and the actual helpfulness that comes from that to gain wealth. Everyone wants to get rich. You crave the body more than you crave stuff of actual merit and worth. You crave status, just to appear status. You crave to be important without actually being important. You want people to think you're important, but to be important, you actually have to be useful. If you want to be important, you have to be useful unto others. And so when you're younger, you go through this crisis, this identity. You're trying to figure out who you are. There's so much grabbing at you for your attention, stealing your time and your energy. And it pulls you, and you become unfocused, and you get depressed because you have no guiding force in your life. You don't know what path you walk on, right? And you're just pulled all over the place. And some people get jaded. Some people get bitter. Some people find themselves just going about the routine. They go to college, they do this and that. They try to get money because without money you become very anxious and afraid. And so you sort of secure your life. You put on these perimeters and these boundaries for your life. You don't really go outside of those. You try to make everything okay, and secure, and you continue to build up that security. So you don't have to fear. Because when you're in fear, it sucks. And the whole time, you begin to close your ears off to the guardian, to the angel, to the spirit. You begin to put the instrument into the case where it's nice and warm. But the instrument never gets played inside of its case. You begin to forget the true dreams and the vision that you had in your high energy youth. You give it up for safety and comfort, and there's a part of that in growing up and becoming wiser, getting older and taking on more responsibility, but you forget the actual dream, and many of the dreams may become even nightmares. And it's a dream, but it's a nightmarish dream. And the nightmares become that of seeking approval from others, seeking to gain more, and greed and lust. It becomes about chasing what everyone else says. It becomes about bickering about small things and talking about little things in the world all the time. You're forgetting about your own spirit. You're getting off of that path. And so if we're going to make sense of this, well, then we got to think, well, if I'm to pick up my cross, if I'm to walk the road and have meaning in my life, then I need purpose. I need vision. I need an underlying vision that is going to make the struggles, the daily boredom and monotony worth it. I need something that in place right now, a vision crystallized and firm enough that is going to make my actions weighty. That's going to give responsibility to my life, and every action that I do is for something. It's an exchange. It's an energy deposit in the bank account to fulfill the vision. That's walking the path to me. That is essential in a man's life. Without that, I don't know what else lies beyond that. But I get scared, guys, because seriously, I get scared. This is one of the reasons I make the videos. I don't make them just to help you. I make them to remind myself. Sometimes I go back to that, I see my energy in a certain video. I see how, I was. I hope that the words that you hear, they also aid you on your journey. That I feel like is my responsibility here, is to help keep you on your path. But also know that I too struggle. And I get off and I think a lot, and I enter those anxieties, and I forget the purpose, I forget the vision. I'm filled with fear some days, and other, I have my own dark thoughts and whatnot. But I know that at the end of the day that we're all called according to a purpose. We're called to rise, to be better. And when you feel that calling, man, it's always calling. It's a daily renewal. And you hear it, you can't go back to the old ways. And when you do, you just become, another person that dies on the off to the wayside. Like, these climbers that climb Everest, and there's hundreds of bodies that die on the top to Mount Everest. It's just like that. Like, if you give up, you just die, dude. Something in you dies because you've been called, right? You have to rekindle that relationship, I think, daily. I think really daily. And so, again, you will look back on times that you've craved all this meaningless stuff because it wasn't according to the vision. You've been chasing phantoms. You've been chasing the wrong things. You never took the time to develop yourself in the areas that you needed to constantly seek out this vision, to step by step to evolve, to tackle what is in front of you. And if you constantly avoid that, you regress. And you begin to search for other things. And you catch yourself doing it. It's such a damn shame. You get upset with yourself. You're like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Right? You start getting off. But, man, it's like, what a life is it? I think when you answer that call. And many are called, but I think few will answer. What a life it is when you can say that I've been called to fulfill this. And it's not out of pure ego. It's not out of the wrong motivations to please other people. It's because you feel it's necessary. You feel it's necessary. And you feel that you are capable of doing that. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And I love to recommend the story, or the movie, The Book of Eli. And I'm not saying that because my name's Elisha. This is a tremendous film, The Book of Eli. I watched it like 10 years ago. I watched it recently the other day, and I was just blown away. I absolutely love that film. Denzel Washington plays this character who is carrying this book, right? He's carrying the book, and he hears this voice. He hears this voice in his head. Guys, watch the film. Just please watch the film. That's your homework, all right? If you're in the group, I'm going to tell you that anyway. Watch the damn film. Highly underrated, I think. He's carrying this book. He hears this voice in his head that says, it's a post-apocalyptic setting. He hears this voice, I need you to take this book, and I need you to carry it west. And as you do that, no harm will come to you. And Denzel, this book is the Word of God. This book is the Bible, and he reads it, and he's a man of faith. And as he carries it, he enters temptation. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but he enters towns. He has temptation. He has women thrown at him. He has all the things that you could possibly want in the world. And he says, "No, I'm not going to stop. I have a mission. I have a purpose in life. Whereas everyone else is kind of comfortable. I'm going to keep doing the mission. I'm going to keep going west. I'm going to fulfill this responsibility that was given to me. I walk by faith. Even though it was in my head, I walk by faith, not by sight." He walks by faith, and what a great, amazing thing that we could take from that is like, I mean, that's what it is, dude. You have faith that what you're doing is worthwhile, that it's worth your time. And many people will think maybe you're stupid, and you may think you're freaking stupid yourself. Seriously. That's when you can course correct along the way. But you walk by faith. And you walk by the wisdom that what you're doing is true, that it has meaning. And not just meaning to you, but you can always tell when you're doing something when it provides you with a feeling of joy. When your joy becomes full. I think your joy becomes full when you are giving life, when you are helping others, because we're humans, man. At the end of the day, like, imagine if no one else was here. Why do anything? Why do anything? You're here on this earth. You have the ability to be useful to other people. You have the ability to make someone else's day just by complimenting them, or by offering them a word of encouragement. You have the ability to shape the world and change it in a better place, even if it's just a little bit. Even if you have nothing else, if you have no money, no fame, no fortunes, no anything, you just have the willingness to do good, life will help you out. And so let's wrap it up here. Get in touch with that guardian. How do you do it? Well, there was some extensive, you could say, measures that people would go through to get in touch with this, such as performing different rituals and, going 6 months alone in a cave. I don't think you need that. I think you need to wake up in the morning and, like David said, make a joyful noise, O my soul. Awake, O my soul. Awake in the dawn. When you wake up in the morning, be grateful. Realize that you have a brand new day ahead of you. Don't rush into anything too fast. First, let your brain time to just be, to balance out, to see the sun coming up, maybe go for a walk, to take some deep breaths. Don't rush into anything too fast. Be alone. Have a bit of boredom in your life. Get in touch with what is going on in your head. Get to know yourself. And I think that's when the muse shows up. Whatever you do, just keep showing up, and the muse will also show up. Okay, and it'll give you inspiration and creativity. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this message. Please let me know maybe what you're dealing with, what you would like to see. Tell me about your wins. Just tell me about how you're doing, man. I love to read about your guys' lives, all right? So I'll see you soon. Have a great week. Peace.